In the booth, we have the ultimate survival authority. Malu, Beyonce, pronounced like Skip to Malu, and superfan Gabe K. Should've brought duct tape.
Hey everybody, we're back. I'm Malu, Beyonce, and yes, I was on Naked and Afraid, but today I'm one of your co-hosts for Oh Heck Nah, the Naked and Afraid podcast. And today we have my co-host,
Gabe.
Hey Gabe, how are you doing? You look so nice. I love that the fro is coming back.
Thank you. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, we haven't done this for a while. We opted out of doing the regular 14 and 21 days because, I don't know, it feels a little hard for me to criticize or critique 14 and 21 dayers because they're just out there surviving. But now we have Global Showdown, which is a competition, and we talked about it, Gabe. We're going to go hard, right?
I'm going to try as much as I can to criticize everyone.
That's
no
right.
more Mr. Nice Guy.
He's coming for you. Be afraid. So we just want to do a quick intro. We want to tease Gabe, I saw that. And we just want to give a fair warning to all of the competitors that we're not going to take it easy. And to all the listeners, you got to turn in because you know what? We're experts. I'm sorry. We're experts. Gabe is the #1 super fan I've ever met. He outdoes us all. Yeah, you do, Gabe.
I think there are a few more that are big super fans, but I'd like to think I'm in like the upper echelon, so to speak, of super fans of the show.
He 100% is. And then you know me, I'm not going back on the show, but I've done my 14 and I think my 21-day attempt was very commendable because I had to make a tough decision, and that's what smart survivalists do. And, you know, I'm somewhat of a super fan myself. I'm going to jump right into it, Gabe. He has no idea where I'm about to go with this, but Rachel's back. Now, do you think me and Rachel are on the same lines? I mean, honestly, when I think about could I do a global showdown, which, by the way, this is last one standing, y'all. There is not going to be a last one standing. This is the competition series, right?
Yes.
I don't know if there's going to be an XL, but I know that there's not going to be a last one standing. This is it, right?
Correct.
Okay. Why do you look so surprised? Okay. Rachel. I love Rachel. Saw her on
Yes.
Naked and Afraid of Love. Loved her on that. I loved her bubbly personality. But when you think of Last One Standing and the competitions, you think of a more seasoned survivalist. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yes, I think you are correct. Best of the best. You're kind of maybe going to see individuals who have done maybe 3 or more challenge, at least on the US side, to, you know, have the teams as strong as possible.
Okay, so let's give her stats. We're not going to count Naked and Afraid of Love. I love the show. A lot of people don't, but that is not surviving. So we're cutting that out. So she did her first challenge with Naeem. And tell us what happened on that challenge, Gabe.
She was in Argentina with Naeem and he left the challenge. And so she was by herself. So she managed to complete her Argentinian 21-day challenge after, you know, surviving Naked and Afraid of Love, because, you know, she survived that. For those who watched, you know she survived that after dealing with all those shenanigans. Kudos to her and her upbeat attitude.
Right. Her attitude's great. I'm not talking about her body as in her form, but her body is amazing that she can go down that deep diving. That's what I'm talking about. The way that her body is conditioned to do that is not only amazing, just looking at her doing those free dive, it's just absolutely beautiful. And that is very commendable, girl. But then let's get to Castaways. She's a trooper. She has a bubbly attitude, which is very good when it comes to surviving. Is that good when it comes to competition, though? Because in Castaways, her bubbly attitude did not help her make it the full time, right?
It made her last longer because she was in high spirits and a positive mental attitude, but unfortunately, her mental strength wasn't enough to keep her around.
Right, and I don't know. I know this is coming out of left field. I know people are like, oh my gosh, she's coming out, you know, beating up Rachel right off the bat. But I'm just pointing out something that I think that has gotten lost in all the controversy over Team Texas. And we're going to get to that next. But I love Dan. Dan is one of my favorite survivalists. He's actually the reason why I ended up on the show. And I saw that little tiff that they had between, Dan and Rachel, and therefore, I'm going to call it now, they are not going to win this competition, not because they don't have the skills, but I just don't think she's a competitor in a sense of surviving. I think she should have done a XL before she went out and did this.
I agree with that. And I just wanted to, just in case the audience didn't know, just say kind of why she left Castaways, if that's all right. Just bring that up, just in case.
Her leg. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Because just in case anyone's confused, but basically there was a point where there was a boat and it was floating away and she was trying to get stuff from the boat and she misjudged the depth of the water and she jumped in and landed on her leg and I believe she fractured her one of
tibula.
The leg bones and she also tibula and she also tore her meniscus and she stayed there for a week after that. I'm sure a lot of other people would have been like, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, give it to her. She's tough. She's one tough cookie. But, like I said, I think people are going to find it's funny that I'm going right after her, right off the bat. And I'm sorry, I know I haven't done a 21, but I feel like if she can do Global Showdown, David's story, hello, I'm right here. I know I've only done a 14, but put me out on the Global Showdown. If she can do it, I can do it. Give me my shot. But let's move on to the controversy, which everybody probably wants to talk about, but they're not even talking about a lot of the other weird stuff going on. And let's talk about Jeff and Kara, because somehow Stephen Lee Hall Jr., who is kind of a big deal, but maybe not so much anymore, has inserted himself into this controversy, and it has been a wild ride. Break down the controversy in 2 sentences for me, Gabe.
Steven is mad that Jeff is representing Texas because Jeff wasn't born in Texas. Jeff made one post saying, what you gonna do about it, essentially. And Steven has escalated the stakes and is very, very upset.
I thought it was a joke at first, and I kind of got in on it. I kind of added to the controversy a little bit here and there. But what it boils down to for me is this. I think what this means is Steven's feelings are hurt that he wasn't invited to Global Showdown. And if they are going to have some kind of XL or whatever, he's obviously not part of it. Because had he been part of an XL or some other kind of challenge, maybe he wouldn't be acting this way. Maybe he wouldn't be so jealous. So I feel like he was left out a lot. He wasn't on any of the regular season. He's not on Global Showdown. And I don't think he would be acting like this if he had an upcoming appearance coming up. That tells me we're not seeing Steven anytime soon, except on his social platforms. He's stirring the pot. I don't like it. I don't like him stirring the pot. Do you?
I'm just so confused by this whole thing. I can't believe Steven has taken it as far as he has. I'm just very surprised by it.
I want to say one thing. I saw a little promo. I didn't even look at it. I couldn't. It was so cringe. I did not finish watching it. And you probably know what I'm going to talk about. And it's not the yeehaw. Do you think I'm talking about the yeehaw?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the yeehaw. Are you talking?
I'm not talking about the yeehaw. I'm talking about the fixin' too. That's all I saw. I didn't watch another second of it. All I heard was them say, I saw Kara say, fixin' too or something. I'm like, listen, I know y'all aren't going to try to give lessons. Did you hear me? Listen, y'all. I know you're not about to try to give lessons. I'm a Texan. I have no beef about them being called Team Texans. They have connections to Team Texans. No problem. But when you start trying to act a certain way, that's where I have a problem. I don't think that she says y'all or fixin' to or pop or any of those other kind of things. I don't believe it. It's not sellable. Y'all's yeehaws were not sellable either.
Okay, so the yeehaw video where it's them with the hat
talking,
up a little
I'm
bit.
listening. Keep talking. I'm listening.
Okay, so just going back to the yeehaw video real quick, that was so... Production just popped in and was like, hey, just, give us some B-roll for like 2 minutes of you talking about being in Texas, and you have these hats probably from the Dollar General that we got for you to wear. Just, kind of speak with a Southern accent, and Jeff and Kara just, yeehaw. That's a more expensive looking hat, but...
Let me tell you something. I am from Texas. This hat right here is my hat, and it is from Cavender's Boot City. I'm going to give y'all a lesson in Texas, on Texas stuff, let me tell you that Cavenders originated in my hometown of Pittsburgh, Texas. And so when I tell you that you don't have to be yeehawing it up or wearing some cheap fake hats to be a Texan, you don't have to do that. And I blame the producers. I blame them, and this is my hat, y'all. I love it. But I had to go get it when you were talking about the yeehaws. You don't have to say yeehaw to be a Texan. I'm sorry, producers and editors, but
No,
y'all did us Texans dirty. We don't talk like that all the time. God dang it. You know, we ain't fixing to say all this mean stuff all the god darn time. And I don't know, bless your heart, but Jesus, I don't even know, take the wheel. I'm just saying we don't talk like that half the god darn time.
Yeah, I think this was just production's way of trying to divvy up the teams because they're like, okay, we have 8 Americans. How do we divvy everyone up? Dan and Rachel live in Hawaii, so they're Pacific. Matt and Gabrielle live, on the eastern part of the U.S. technically.
Dan doesn't live in Hawaii.
I don't.
He moved.
Or I thought Dan lived in Hawaii.
He used to
Where'd
live
he
in
move?
Hawaii. Am I saying stuff I'm not supposed to be saying? Let's move on. I'm sorry.
But yeah, this is mainly production. Yeah.
Yeah, Dan definitely moved from Hawaii, I think. Because listen, this is the reason why I know that Dan moved from Hawaii. Because so many gay men wore black bands on their arms when he moved away. One of my friends who is gay, who lives in Hawaii, literally texted me and said, "Did you hear the news? Dan doesn't live in Hawaii anymore." So that's what I heard, at least. I don't know. I think that maybe he's been traveling a lot and maybe has a second home. But it doesn't matter. Do I care? You lived in Hawaii. See? Who cares? Let's move on. We have some international teams. And the first team we're going to talk about is Australia because it contains my favorite Naked and Afraid survivalist of all times. And I'm not going to lie. I can't go hard on her because I love her. That is Kai. She is amazing. Yay. I have nothing negative to say about either one of them. Do you?
No.
Not yet, but I might. I'm just saying because we're coming hard. And then we have Brazil. And we have Renee and Marina.
Yay.
Yes, I don't know anything about them. So I can't really criticize them too hard yet. But I think I'm falling in love with Renee. He's good looking. Am I allowed to say that? And his personality is very competitive, but also humble. What do you think about Renee and Marina?
Well, luckily for me, I managed to watch season 1 of Naked and Afraid Brazil and Naked and Afraid Brazil XL, so I kind of have an idea of their personality. Unfortunately,
is Renee as great as I think he is?
I mean, I think if he is very he's very focused on the task at hand. And if he feels that you're not up to the same task as him, he's going to make sure you're on the same page as him. And if you are whining, if you are complaining, if you are not doing things right, he will let you know that you're doing things wrong. He's not like condescending, but he's just like, hey, I want you to be able to do this. I know you might not be in it right now, but you need to be in it. We got to go. We have to do it like this.
I like strong men and partners, also women who tell you how to get it done. I like a strong leader. Marina seems great as well, and we're going to learn all about her, but let's move on because there's really no controversy with them because we don't know them yet. Mexico, we have Fernanda and Pablo, correct? All right, so let me tell you what Fernanda did, okay? First off, you have a name like Fernanda. It reminds me of Fernando. I automatically like you. She cussed, and I still don't know how they got that by the censors. She cussed in the promo. She went on one of the fan pages and was like, "Hey, this is who I am. I would like to start interacting with y'all in English." I was like, I like her already.
Yes, and luckily I also saw season 1 of Naked and Afraid Latin America. Unfortunately, it was a few years ago, but Pablo and Fernanda became really good friends during the challenge once they merged. So I think that this is a really good partnership. And Pablo managed to get an electric eel during his challenge on Latin America season 1. So he's very strong. But even though he's only done one challenge, I think that he is a good competitor and he's very strong. And I think he's a good supportive part.
Ooh, I cannot wait to see them. So now we're coming down to something that people are not going to like. They're gonna come for me. People are gonna come for me because we're about to give Matt the business. We have USA East. You know, Matt's in Florida. I don't know where Gabby's from, but let's talk about Matt. You have to have some big cojones to come back for another competition show when you've been unsuccessful in the past. And I feel like his last appearance, he did very well, was very commendable. I think that Darren won, but it could have easily been Matt. Why would you come back? Because if you don't win, then how do you look?
The first time he did a competition, I will give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, though, because he did tear a calf muscle. Yeah, the second time it was so close, and now I guess he just loves Naked and Afraid so much that he's like, you know what? I have more I need to teach everybody. He wants to come back, but is he gonna, increase the competitive spirit this time and try to, stay laser focused? Because a lot of times he was focused like, oh, let's all be equal. Like, I'll share my food. It's gonna be great. Everyone will be on equal playing fields. But now it's like, hey, you don't want to upset Gabby in any way. So you need to focus in on this competition.
You better start focusing is what he's saying. He's too nice, but I'm going to say it for him. Matt, get your game together and you better be focused. You're in a competition. Treat it like a competition. I'm sorry. There's brothers or sisters that compete against each other for big money and big high stakes. Doesn't mean you have to be, evil or stabbing people behind the back, but you have to have that competitive spirit. Great point. Gabby's Gabby. She's freaking great. Surprised to see her
I can't think of any flaws.
I mean, no flaws with Gabby whatsoever. She's just, everything about her. But wait, what am I saying? We will find a flaw. My goal by the end of this is we will find something to nitpick about Gabby, because that's our intentions, because nobody's perfect. But yeah, she's pretty perfect. And then we have our last one, and I hate to leave him for last, but somebody has to be last, and that's USA South. And we have Frank and Teal. You know how I feel about Teal. She made that great eye patch. I think she's really resourceful. Her hiatus from being with the Black Cowboy then to Apocalypse was such a long time, and she came back strong. I think, I don't know what to expect out of Frank and Teal. This is like the wild card for me. Do you think they're going to be strong or weak?
Unfortunately, I think they may start off strong, but then kind of go to the middle of the pack pretty quickly, based off of what we see in the trailer. Teal was just like, I had everything laid out for you like you told me to, and you didn't do it. And so I'm just like, I feel like the communication is going to break down. Not at the very beginning, but pretty soon, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we
No
might
shade.
put this, Frank, I like Frank. There's something about his personality I like. However, he reminds me kind of a Darren, maybe a silent sleeper that could come up. You know what I mean? Maybe he has a lot more skills, but he's just hiding behind a closed personality. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. So we're at the end of the podcast, and I'm probably going to sneak this part in the front, but I didn't want to get Gabe all fumbled in the beginning. Gabe, don't hold back on me. Tell me you have figured out who the last three are. Don't tell me who. But you did figure it out, correct? And tell me how you figured it out.
I think I have a pretty good idea of who's going to be top three, if not 95% sure who will be top three of Global Showdown.
How did you find that out? How did you figure it out?
I was watching the special that they aired on May 10th, and I was looking at the trailers, and there's one shot where
No, don't say anymore.
Okay.
We're going to have to make the listeners wait to find out. We're going to be doing the podcast every week. And I think that you should tell them maybe in week 1, half of the way you found out. And then maybe they can try to figure it out on their own. But I don't want to know, because if you give all the juice right away right now, they won't want to come back and squeeze us. And I like to be squeezed. We want to give you a warning also. And we haven't discussed this yet, but we're also going to be coming after the fans. I am so sick and tired of some of y'all saying how fake it is. I don't care if you don't like me. I know my voice can get really squeaky. I know that. I know that some of you don't like what I put out. That's fine. But for you to insult the show and say that the show is fake, or for you to come after people in a negative, horrible way, is unacceptable. We are going to be criticizing because it's a competition, but we're not going to be attacking anybody. And we had a lot of controversy in the regular season with some of the guys tapping out, and we're not having that. Criticizing and bullying is a very fine line. And I see some of you crossing that line, and I think it's unacceptable. Let's drop one little insider tip before we go. Give me something that's going to happen in the first episode. What do you think from studying the promos?
But I know who's in danger for the first elimination, at least based off the trailers.
All right, so we know who's in danger for being eliminated first. The thing is that what I'm worried about is it going to be shown in the first episode, or do you think they're going to hold back a week?
I think they're going to make it, it's going to be similar to Last One Standing Season 3, where the cut will happen in episode 2. That's my assumption.
Well, should we put out who you think the top 2 people are to get cut? The top 2 teams? Should we put that out in the universe?
Or like who may be in danger of going home first based off one shot in a trailer?
Yes, I think we should. What do you think? I think that lets people know that we're serious. We're serious business people. We are examining everything. And those editors and those producers, we don't know if you're dropping Easter eggs on purpose, but when you have people like us watching and some of these other super fans, you better watch what you put in the trailers. This is 100% from the trailers. Tell me who you think your top 2 are.
So based off the trailer, a potential bottom 2 are Team Mexico and but like based off the trailer, Texas is like 3rd from the bottom, at least at that point.
I don't want to make Stephen Lee Hall Jr.'s head big, but I truly thought that Jeff and Cara were in the bottom 2 as well. Not saying that they were going to go home first, but I thought they were in the bottom. So, I don't know. It's kind of like the louder you speak, the more you have to show. So, what I mean by that is, I think they're speaking a lot right now to make up for the fact that they went home early. And that's my only basis for this. You gotta milk Jeff and Kara for what they're worth, and they are superstars. So production's gonna milk them, right? So they're milking the cow way too fast. I like it. I cannot wait to do the podcast with you every week, Gabe. Remember, we are the experts. We are experts. So listen to us. If you're a fan of anyone on this list, I guarantee you we are going to critique your favorite more than once. Please don't get mad at us. That's what we do. The last seasons, people were getting mad because people were competing. That makes no sense to me.
People are, even though Last One Standing had been going on for 2 previous seasons, people still want the kumbaya. They're obsessed with XLs and everyone working together. Even though XL Season 10, everyone was very not on board with it. People were very critical.
That's like going to a boxing match and saying, oh my God, how dare they hit each other? You know what I mean? Like, what? It's a boxing match, people. You're supposed to compete. I cannot wait to see the challenges. So we'll see. I'm going to look at the challenge and I'm going to tell you whether or not, honestly, if I could do that or not. So we're going to have that bit. Could Malu do that? We'll find out. I cannot wait to work with you again. I cannot wait. Please, to all the survivors that are on this show, I hope we have a love relationship. Please DM us privately if there's anything that's said that you don't agree with. Right? We're here to commentate. Don't shoot the messenger. We love all of you already. And I might have a little soft spot for you, Renee. I really do. I don't know why.
It was really funny. Someone tried to put up a comment that said, they're really not looking forward to the angry French guy.
About Renee?
Yes.
Please make sure you follow us. We also have private pages. You can find me everywhere at Malu Beyonce. As you know, I am a 2-time naked in her face survivalist. Please follow. I'm doing some interesting stuff with food reviews. What about you? Got anything that you want to plug, Gabe?
Well, I have a Facebook and YouTube channel under Gabe Custic, which is my name. And on Instagram, I go by ginger_Jew_fro, where I occasionally have big hair. Sometimes I don't, but the handle was available, so I took that.
I love that handle. Please follow us. And like we said, we take all feedback. Come at us. We're strong enough to handle it. All right, we'll talk to you later. We're out.
Bye.